experts that come on, but they're not actually involved with NFTs. And so not only is his collection of NFTs outstanding, impressive, but on top of that, his ability not only to identify and pick winners, but actually get the attention of projects that want to work with him is actually really special. So we're excited to have him. We got him here every Friday. He's committed to give you guys some NFT sauce. And today's going to be a special edition out of Orlando. My partner, Jiz Clerk Morissette. What's up, Jiz?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's it going, family? As he said, I'm Jiz Clerk Morissette. They call me Jiz for short. Part of the Uhuru Worldwide Wealth Community out of Orlando, Florida. And like he said, I just want to share this information. And that's one of the reasons why this evening session is so special to me, because it hits home specifically with my passion, which is talking about NFTs, talking about projects that can help the community. And I'm pretty much just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to start out pretty much just talking about this project. So I've talked about the Metaknyts project a couple of times. If you've been on any of the clubhouses we used to do, if you've been on any of the sessions that we used to do online, the Facebook Lives, I've talked about Metaknyts before, and people are like, hey, you keep talking about it, you keep coming back to it. And there's a reason for that, right? So first and foremost, there's three main missions of the company. Metaknyts is a multimedia project. It is owned and run by Meta Media. And one of the goals of the founder of the Metaknyts Meta Media company, his name is Dele Atanda. And I welcome you to look him up, check him out on YouTube. He has tons of recorded interviews and posts that he's done all over the world, talking about the metaverse, talking about crypto, talking about digital identity. And that's why I have this page up right now. It is their website, MetaMe, and it's basically metame.com. We're actually one of the first companies, if not the first company, to use the word meta in their corporate name. More about that coming. So when you look at MetaMe, the goal of their company is to help people own their data, right? For years and years, we've known about it. We've heard about the major corporations and tech companies using our data. And now it's a business model, right? When the internet first came out, they used the traditional advertising and marketing strategies to try to monetize the internet. But then as they started to get that data, they started to get that metadata where they're able to track our ability, what we're searching, what we're viewing online. They started to realize that that was golden data, information that they could use so that they can reach out to us. So you have companies like Facebook, you have companies like Google, you have tons of tech companies, and just any company on the internet, right? The way that they are able to better target and to identify potential customers and to try to keep their customers is by understanding the data, the demographic data. And again, right, people want to decide whether or not they want to be tracked. Now you have a lot of web browsers out there that can hide for some part your browser history. You cannot be tracked. You have to click all of these cookie regulations when you go to certain websites, saying that you don't want them to track you and you don't want the cookies to activate when you're on their website. So people are looking for solutions. This is a major problem. Again, the world, these companies are using our data without our permission, and we're not able to monetize that data. And it's been said now that data is the new oil, right? Companies are making billions and billions of dollars off of our information, and we're not able to capitalize on it, right? So that's one of the main goals of Metamedia and this project, is to give us ownership of our data, and as well as to navigate the internet, the interwebs, the metaverse anonymously if we so choose, right? So if you go to the website and you scroll down here, they have some information, and then here it lays it out pretty easily, right? Give your digital self a home. right? So they're working on software. They have apps that they're working on that is going to allow us, again, to control our data and then to protect ourselves, to protect our identity while we're online, right? And then the next level, which is really exciting, is going to allow us to then monetize that data. So the same way that all these corporations right now are making money off of our data, now we're going to switch it and say, no, this is my data. If you want it, you're going to have to pay me, right? So how does this tie into the Metaknyts, right? So the way that this ties into the Metaknyts is that this is, for a lot of people, is very heavy stuff. It's very complicated and to some level pretty boring, right? So for many people who I speak to, people in my network, they talk about cryptocurrency, they talk about blockchain technology, they talk about the metaverse. This is not new terminology for them, but for a lot of people in the world, this is all fresh territory. It's intimidating, right? So to bring that service and to bring that information to the masses is a very complex process where you have to do a lot of education, right? The same way for many of us who will be watching this, many of the people in my network, right? When you talk about Forex, when you talk about crypto, what is Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin important? You know, all of the other projects that are out there, you have to do some educating for people to actually understand the value of what you're bringing to them. So that's one of the solutions that Metaknyts brings, is in the form of what you call edutainment, right? So we're educating and entertaining people at the same time. So they have this project, and the Metaknyts Saga is a comic book saga that is already done. It's going to be launching later this month. And there's over 13 issues of the comic book. So this one right here is the first comic which is about to be released. And it basically takes us on a journey of the protagonist who, again, I'm not going to give too much of the story, but dealing with data identity and dealing with the major financial conglomerates in the metaverse, right? Battling it out in the real world, battling it out in the metaverse, trying to free himself and as well as free the world and awaken to the world to the fact that we're being exploited, right? So that's the whole journey that this goes through. And I've been fortunate because I am a community manager in this project with this company that I've had access to all 13 issues. The story is riveting, right? Once you read it, it's getting get dropped a month, issue a month, just like regular comics. You're gonna be wanting for that next comic to drop. And it's really great, very unique story. Again, Afrocentric is written. Dele Atunde is Nigerian. He wrote it himself, right? So very well told, and I was blown away. I was blown away. So again, this is gonna get people, educate people, bring them into the space to understand what is digital sovereignty, what is digital identity, why is it important, right? So again, here's just a quick clip of Dele speaking. This was earlier this year, so you can just hear from him about digital identity.
You're creating content for them and they're able to monetize that. Facebook's like the biggest content monetization platform around. So the where they've really excelled, and we were talking about this at the break, is that what these companies really are selling is behavior futures. Yeah. So they're selling basically the ability to predict behavior, but even now they're going further than that. What they're really selling now is the ability to manipulate behavior, to influence behavior, and to influence it to help sell things for clients, for customers, for commercial ends. So they've got, and they're very effective. You know, you look at Facebook's performance in that they're just crushing it in the market because they've got this data about what we like, what we fear, who our friends are. They've got this rich information that allows them to predict with high degrees of accuracy what we're going to do. And we've seen this with the election. You know, they've been able to, you know, predict with powerful effect how to get us all against each other and how to spin these different elections. And, you know, it's not accidental, and I don't want to go off piece too much, but it's not accidental that Facebook, for example, have said that they're not going to ban political adverts, regardless of whether they're false or lies, because they know the power of them. You know, it's not accidental that Cambridge Analytica happened 2 years after Facebook announced that they'd run this experiment where they could see emotional contagion. So they know that they've got this ability to influence society in mass droves, and they just want to keep doing it. They just want to accumulate more power, more control over us.
Right. So that's very powerful. And again, the whole thing about it is many of us know this. This is not like a secret. We know that these corporations have access to our data. People complain about it. And it's one of those things, oh, what are you going to do? Right? It's not like we have a ready-made solution. Like there's been a lot of different platforms that have popped up that are supposed to be the new Facebook killers, but people are not leaving Facebook because that's where the network is, right? I have high school friends, I have college friends, and I even have people in my parents' generation who are hopping on Facebook right now. So if you're like, I want to be anonymous on the web, or I want to connect with my network, your network is not coming with you if you go to another platform, right? So the goal of this project as well, if you go to the website, metaknyts.com, you can see in their roadmap that they actually offer a solution. So the MPods that he's talking about here on Metamedia is actually allowing you, it's like a version of MetaMask. So if you use crypto, you know MetaMask and the Coinbase wallet, this is like a MetaMask wallet for your identity. So you're going to connect it to your web browser, and wherever you go, you actually control which demographic data, if anything, you want to share with whatever platform you connect with. So you'll be able to go on Facebook and say, I only want to share that I'm a male, right? Or I only want to share that I'm a male and I'm African American, right? Or you can just navigate anonymously, right? So it's very revolutionary technology, and it's not trying to be a Facebook killer. It's not a platform, right? All it is encapsulating your data while you're on the internet and allowing you to navigate and control your data, right? So on top of that, when you go to their platform, to their website, you can see right now, as I said, they're starting out with the comic book. So that's the beginning. That's how we introduce the whole philosophy of digital sovereignty and the importance of digital identity to people with the story of the Metaknyts, as well as the metaverse game. So Andre played a demo of the game. There's a couple of demos running around social media of the game that's based off of the comic book. On top of that, they have a PFP NFT of one of their main characters. This is an emissary, is a priestess in the storyline. So you go on OpenSea, you can see the different variations of the emissary. So the whole goal of this is to release a comic book and then to release a different character from the game. So the main character in the game, you can see him in episode 2, that's right here. His name is Deji. After we release, the emissary is already out, Deji is next up. So you're gonna get the comic book, but then you can also have the opportunity to purchase the NFT of the main character, Deji, right? So they're creating a lot of utility, especially for people who start to get into this. We already have people who are like waiting to get the comic book, right? This right here is a rendering of what they call a night card. So when the game drops, then you're gonna be able to have these are in-game resources. So this is the main character again, Deji, he's holding a spear, right? So that spear is an in-game resource, right? So you can purchase these night cards separately. You can, in the game, it's gonna be a play to earn game. You can win some of these resources and you can trade them as well, right? And the beautiful thing about them is that they're designed for not only to be played in the Metaknyts game. So if there's another game that is interoperable, that is compatible with the Metaknyts code, and a lot of these metaverse games are making themselves that way, So like Sandbox, Decentraland, you can take the asset, the actual weapons, but even the character themselves, right? So this right here is the avatar. It's called a Metavatar. This is one of the female bad guys, villainous of the game, and you can actually take her out of the game and go into other games with her, right? So next level technology that is being used, not a lot of people are even close to that level, and they're gonna be releasing an alpha version of this game later this year, right? So this thing is just getting started, and what they've already developed is already light years ahead of a lot of what the competition has out there, right? So again, the beautiful thing about this, just the comic book, this is just the comic book, right? Is not just a digital comic book. It's called a motion comic. And again, they're the first ones to actually do this. Like you can go to marvel.com right now and you can actually purchase an electronic comic book or e-comic book, right? You can go on Vivi, right? The Vivi app, and you can buy one of their old comic books and you can actually read it on the Vivi app, right? But those are like PDFs, they're PDFs, right? This is a motion comic. It's actually playing, right? So I'm gonna play the comic for you right now, right? So this is one of the prequel episodes. There's 2 prequel episodes that were launched, pilot episodes. So that's Beiji right there, fighting off some of the bad guys. They call them Fangs. Right? So again, I don't want to spoil it. Really cool stuff, right? So the game itself, as I said, this project is all Black owned. You can see right here, this is the team, right? He's the founder. You got the artists here, you have the programmers, some of the web developers, right? And then the company behind it itself that actually created and made the comic book is called Comic Republic. And they're based out of Nigeria. So when we say Black owned, we mean Black owned. All of the talent, everything from the start to finish, right? So one of the other goals of Dele when he created the project was to give an opportunity for Black talent to represent themselves, right? If you just look at the tech world, just the programming world, you don't see a lot of Black people in it. Now, when you go into blockchain, it's like 1% of 1%, right? You barely see anybody there. So that was another thing that he made a mission of his, is that he's gonna connect with other people. You know, he went out and he found these people. They weren't in his network. They weren't in his network. There's a few of them who were in his network, like Dave, they knew each other. But all of these other people on here, he went out and he found them purposefully, right? So that's one of the other things that he's bringing to this space, is providing an opportunity for the African-American community to be able to create and to grow in this space and to benefit from this space. Because the goal of this project, again, is one, to give us the opportunity to experience content that we can be proud of, right? Because again, one of the things that is gonna get controversial is about the Bored Apes. And we actually, Dele and I had a talk, it's on YouTube now, it's called Knights versus Apes, right? Where we talk about the whole thing about the profile pictures using simian representation. And what does that mean for us, especially people who understand the history and how people tried to discriminate against us and say that, African people were animals, right? So for people to be supporting the Bored Apes and all of these, you go on, the marketplaces, the majority of these projects, because the Bored Apes blew up, everybody's biting off of it. But nobody's thinking is like, a profile picture is supposed to represent me. Do I want to be represented by an ape NFT, right? So that's another reason why he created not just the comic book, but the profile pictures, right? I have people on my team in my wealth community who have bought these NFTs because they're like, I'm happy to have this be on my profile on social media, right? If you look at the one that I have, I was able to get the Deji. I was able to get one of the Deji pictures as my NFT picture. If you're in the Zoom, you can see my Zoom icon is actually one of the Deji NFT profile pictures, right? I'd rather have that than have a Bored Ape, right? So again, it's about representation. And that's what this is bringing, is representation on all levels, right? So again, what this company is bringing so much utility, is actually bringing education to the people as well. When you're coming into the metaverse, it's the metaverse game, you're gonna be able to earn tokens in the metaverse game. What are you gonna do with those tokens? You're gonna be able to stake them. You're gonna be able to stake them and earn residual income, right? So a lot of people right now, again, are intimidated by DeFi. They're intimidated by blockchain. But how much more easier is it, hey, let me play this game based off of this comic book, earn some crypto tokens, and I can stake it in the wallet, because they're actually creating a wallet as well, not a wallet, but an app, right? So this is one of the renderings of the Knight app. And you'll be able to, it's gonna be a mobile app as well as a desktop app. So you can purchase NFTs on here, you can read the comic book, you can play the game, and they'll also have some social utility where you can connect with other people in the community in there. It'll also hold your crypto tokens where you can stake them, right? So again, providing that opportunity for helping people on board into crypto. But it doesn't have to be all crypto, because you can go on here, you can purchase the NFT right now, you can pay with a credit card. So again, that was something that they did earlier this year. Before, you had to go and you had to buy the NFT with Ethereum or with Polygon, right? But then we know that a lot of people in the Black community are not crypto savvy. So that was one of the things that they did, where they integrated this on their webpage. They got a company that was able to hook up that integration where you can pay with a credit card or debit card. Again, making it easy to help people get in this space, right? So again, we're talking about their campaign launch. So when I say campaign launch, they have a campaign with Start Engine. So you may have seen some commercials online on social media. Start Engine does a lot of crowdfunding. It's kind of, if you think about Kickstarter, it's like Kickstarter, but for private placement. So a lot of people may not know, if your company is not public on Wall Street, majority of people can't buy shares of that company. It's called a private placement. You have to be an accredited investor, meaning you have to have a certain net worth, which is usually in the millions, in order to be invited to that opportunity, right? So the Start Engine is its own company, and basically it's pretty unique, and I give them a lot of props for that, is that they're allowing people who are not accredited investors to be able to get in on projects and companies that are privately owned. Otherwise, you have to wait for them to go public, right? So Start Engine partnered with Metaknyts. Metaknyts reached out to them and said, hey, we'd like to use your platform to raise some money for our project, right? So this was 2 years ago, back in 2020. They had their first campaign, and they used the money they raised. You can see it right here. They raised over $1 million back in 2020, and they used that to fund and to build the comic book and to build the development of the metaverse game, right? So now the comic book is all built out. Season 1 is done. They're already working on season 2, right? So now their goal now is to raise $4 million so that they can now finish out the game, get more seasons built out to build out this entire roadmap, right? They want to get the roadmap built out, right? So again, a lot of projects are not on this level, right? A lot of projects, they'll build out the profile picture. They'll build out the profile picture and they say, okay, if we sell out the profile picture NFT, Then we'll find some writers. Maybe we have a creative person in our community who has an idea of a story we can tie with this character, right? They'll do contests and say, hey, give this character a name. What's the backstory of this character, right? This was already done, right? We're not waiting to see who this character is. We already know who this character is. There's already a story. There's all seasons already written for this project, right? This was developed and done properly, right? There's problems right now with the Bored Ape project, right? With Yuga Labs, their whole community is about to riot because they changed the IP rights on them, right? Not everybody who owns a Bored Ape can leverage the Bored Ape and turn it into a project and turn it into a movie or a music video, right? But they're riding the waves of the Snoop Dogs, of the Timberlands and the Eminems and hoping that they can flip their NFT, right? This project is just giving you utility off the fact that it's a comic book, off that they're gonna have a metaverse game, off that it's a play to earn game, that they're gonna have digital identity that's gonna allow you to navigate the internet, right? You're gonna be able to monetize that, right? There's so much utility coming into this. And then what they did is when you come into the Start Engine project, they're selling these right now. The launch was yesterday, 26 bucks a share, but the minimum investment is 10 shares. So that's $267. That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money, not for shares in a company, right? I've bought NFTs, individual NFTs that cost more than that. Right? So this is really mind-boggling. When I found out, first of all, it was 20 bucks a share, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Because there's no other NFT company that's giving you shares of the company, right? So people have to understand that, right? When you own Bored Apes, you own a Bored Ape NFT. That's it. The company is Yuga Labs. Yuga Labs has shares, right? The executive, the founder, the directors, the shareholders, they have board members. The board members have shares of Yuga Labs, right? That's not possible. Snoop Dogg, I believe he asked them, I can see if I can find the tweet. He asked to come on the Bored Apes, he asked for shares, right? Because he knew what it meant is if Yuga Labs goes off and creates a movie that has nothing to do with Bored Apes, a whole new project, they can do that, right? If you own a Bored Ape, you don't get a piece of that, right? But if Metaknyts says, Metamedia says Metaknyts is great, right? We're gonna create some toys, some real world toys, and we're gonna sell them to Hasbro, we're gonna sell them to Mattel, and they make $1 million, $1 billion. If you own their NFT, you don't get a piece of that. But if you own shares in Metamedia, you will get a piece of that, right? So that's what they're offering people right now, right? This is, again, no, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not, a financial wizard, but I'm saying this is an opportunity that I haven't seen ever. What they're doing, if they're able to continue on the path that they are right now, 2 years from now, this company is gonna be a household name, right? And if they do that, anyone who's a shareholder is gonna be sitting pretty, right? Again, we can't predict the future, but I'm just saying, I don't know other companies that are coming out with this level. Like these are the actual avatars in the game, right? We call them metavatars, right? They're doing so much with this game, with their technology, with their intellectual property. That's why right now, this valuation, this is the current valuation of the company. Right now, today, 48 million, right? So again, that's pretty much it. I'm saying is that this company is doing some great stuff. The website is called metaknyts.com. The parent company is called metame.com. Go out and check them out. Go on YouTube and check out the videos. The founder, his name is Dele Atanda, ATANDA. He has his own videos for the Metaknyts website, but he does interviews, conferences all over the world. Next month, he's going to be in London. Last month, he was in Spain. The guy is globetrotting, talking about the importance of digital sovereignty, right? And again, one of the reasons why I partnered with them and I decided to work with them is because of how serious that they are about educating the public about the importance of this. Again, we all see it. We all know it, right? Our data is being used against us. Why can't I make money off of browsing the internet? There actually are apps, and we did learn there's a blockchain project where there's a blockchain search engine. So you can make money and you can earn tokens by using this blockchain search engine. But that's just one little piece of one little thing. I'm not on search engines all day, right? But I'm on the internet all day, right? Why can't I capture my own data and say, if you want my data from an African-American male between the age of 40 and 50 who lives in Orlando, Florida, who's married and has 2 kids, how much is that data worth to you, right? And I can sell that to the highest bidder, right? Not only I'm not gonna be selling it to the highest bidder, I don't have to find those people. Meta Media is already working with different corporations, different organizations, different schools, universities, and institutes who want that data, right? All of that data right now is being sold to them by the Facebooks and Googles and Amazon, right? But what if we're able to capture that on our own and say, you can't have it anymore. You got to come to me for it. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. And they're one of the first companies that I know of that's, again, ahead of the curve, because soon enough, you're going to see different companies are going to come out and say, own your data, own your data. They're one of the first ones to do it, right? So I guess I'll open it up to any questions. Dre, do you have any questions? And I'll open it up to anybody else in the audience.
Yeah, man, I think it's just significant, the portion of being able to actually use the start engine to actually be able to invest in the company. I think that right there is really a game changer in the NFT space again. But even by owning a piece of land in Decentraland or owning these different things in the metaverse, you do have some ownership in Web3, so to speak, but you don't own anything of the company who's putting that stuff together, right? So
yeah, I mean, it's so much stuff that goes into it. You saying that, right? So go back over here. So if you go in there and you click on the campaign, there's actually different tiers of investment. So for your first level, you can get one of the first issues. So the pilot episode, if you invest, you'll get the pilot episode for free and one of the night cards. So again, these are NFTs, right? They easily can be over $300, right? For the utility that these NFTs give you, this could easily be a $300, $400 NFT. So if you invest in the company, you're gonna get 10 shares plus a comic plus a night card, right? $500, you're also gonna get the pilot episode plus the next 3 episodes, right? $1,000, you're gonna get the pilot episode, the night card, and 6 episodes, and it just keeps going from there, right? So they're giving you value on top of that. And I mean, I can't state enough how groundbreaking it is that they're giving us the opportunity to get in on this and own shares of the company. I can't say that enough, right? Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that. Imagine what would you have to do to get in on the ground floor? Would Damon John have given you shares of Fubu, right? It's like on that level, right? Fubu's still not a public company, right? It's still privately owned, right? He sold the company. How much did he sell it for? Hundreds of millions of dollars, right? It's still privately owned, right? So there are shareholders of Fubu, right? You had to be an accredited investor to get in on that. And that's the thing that, again, there's a little bit of education that has to happen. And when I talk to certain people about it, it does, the recognition is not there. And I'm trying to help people to understand you're getting shares of the company. This is not an NFT play. I texted that to a few friends this morning. This is not an NFT play. This is a stock play, right? So, any other comments, any questions?
Hey, could you go back on there to the start engine, and what was the video that they have to play for the start engine right there? That video right there.
Well, Metaknyts Media, a blockchain media company, announcing the release of its Metaknyts. That's a cryptographic digital comic series.
So it's set in this world called Digiterra, which is like a digital world that mirrors the physical world. And in that world, there are cyber vampires who suck people's data.
Like,
and that's not accidental.
Facebook, Apple. Okay.
It's not accidental. Metaknyts isn't just a graphic novel. It's a portal to the shifting future of your digital life, where extended reality and gaming meet the physical world. One of the things we're doing with Metaknyts is we're releasing it with a wallet whereby, when people sign up, they will have a self-sovereign ID. Anything you can imagine on a playing card can be created as a digital collectible and saved in your personal media wallet. So the idea of creating a comics series where the issues are published as non-fungible tokens is really exciting, because it means that we can create collectible digital artifacts that can grow value over time. Crypto actually allows us to own these assets independently of the platform. It only takes a few minutes to purchase Metaknyts shares on startengine.com. You can own a stake in Metaknyts and the future of digital collectibles.
Yeah, so I don't know if people caught that when they showed the rendering of one of the characters, it said Satoshi. So Satoshi Nakamoto is actually one of the characters in the comic, which again, nobody has decided to like take advantage of the fact that you can use that, right?
No one knows who he is, right?
So it's gonna be. I look forward to just being a comic book fan myself, of reading and then just talking about the philosophies and the storyline with people. It is very well written. There's mystery in it, there's action in it, and there's even a love interest in it. So that whole thing is something for everybody, right? So let's open it up. Any questions from the people in Zoom?
So how do they go about? They're just gonna go and get the. Oh, go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah,
Go
Sam,
ahead, brother.
go ahead,
I was just
Sam.
saying, I've been on the loop for a while, so I don't really have any questions, but all I know is like I caught this we're now like I'm starting to get into the NFT. It took me a long time to get into NFTs. I know you were just been telling me NFTs, and I always said no. And then like, oh no, met someone and like a light just shined. Basically I use an internal wallet with with Discord, and I use ADA because ADA has low gas fees.
Mhm.
And I connect my Eternal wallet with Discord, and bam, I'm like, I got passive income coming in soon. I get to play to earn. I haven't won anything yet, but that's the hard part. That's the hard part.
I mean,
So if I did have a question, my question would be with this.
Mhm.
It's stocks. You're saying it's stocks, so we don't got to worry about wallets or anything like that.
No, it's shares. It's actual shares that you own. There's no crypto wallet involved in the purchase of this at all.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole thing, right? And one of the things that Dre and I tell people, and thank you, Sam, he's one of the guys in our wealth community. And we tell people just make a purchase on something small. right? There are lots of projects out there where you can make a purchase for less than 20 bucks. And these comics, when these comics drop, they're gonna be around the $15, $20 range for a motion comic. Again, this is not a PDF, it's an actual MP4 file that is coded on the blockchain. So for it to be less than 20 bucks is a steal, right? And it's a great introduction for somebody to say, hey, my first NFT was a comic book that's a motion comic, right? So again, for a lot of people who are new to NFTs, for people who are new to the blockchain space, we say, get involved, make your first purchase, right? So that you can understand what's going on, so you can demystify this stuff. It's not complicated. Once you start to get in there and connect with people who've done it, they'll help you figure it out.
Jiz, one more thing, bro. I want you to kind of, because we don't talk about it a lot. We have mentioned it, right? But one of the things I think we probably should do a feature on this going forward is sort of the play to earn. And I think that component is also something nice. It seems like Dele and the team is basically set up everything that they're doing as a way in which you could generate income, right? Or you can control some kind of asset or something like that. It's very ownership centric, right? And so talk to them a little bit about play to earn in the metaverse. I mean, we probably should also do some more shows on the metaverse itself, because people are still quite confused. I mean, a lot of people think that Facebook is the metaverse because they switched to Twitter, right?
Yeah, definitely, right? So you have the metaverse in itself is not one company. It's not one platform. Just like the internet is not one company, is not one platform. The internet is the conglomeration of all of these companies, of all these networks. So that's what the metaverse is going to be. No one owns the metaverse, although you have the major companies, including Facebook, who are trying to gain a large share. They want people to have to go through them to get to the metaverse, right? And again, if they do that, they're going to own the data. That's what they want, is they want to be able to control the data. If Facebook and Google and Amazon are able to create the backbone of the metaverse, then again, we're back to them controlling us, right? The whole vision of the metaverse is for people to be able to do digitally pretty much everything you can do in the real world, right? So if that's watch a movie, you can go in the metaverse and you can watch a movie with your buddy and you're both avatars in this movie theater, right? Or you're playing a video game, you have your VR goggles on, you're playing this video game, and it's on a platform, and you can leave that platform and take your car that you're playing a racing game. You can go from, Mario Kart to Gran Turismo, and you still have your Mario Kart in Gran Turismo, right? So that's what the metaverse is allowing you to do. Now, when we say play to earn, not every single thing in the metaverse is play to earn, but it's another incentive, and it's a great incentive, because think about people who've played video games before. I've played tons. I love the fighting games, right? I played the Mortal Kombat. I played the Tekken. I was just watching a Tekken movie on Netflix. They made another Tekken anime, right? All of these things where we spend hours and hours and hours, people say burning our brain cells, but we didn't gain anything from it, but other than pure entertainment. For some people, that's enough, right? But now they've changed the whole paradigm, and they said, okay, you can play this game. If you spend 4 hours on this game, you're not only gonna spend some time, but you're actually gonna earn something from the game, right? So if you play a fighting game, you can win prize money, right? Just like Sam was saying, the game that he's playing a poker game, right? So boom, you're earning tokens, right? There's a lot of games that came out there now where you can actually play card games and earn crypto for playing card games, right? So they have role-playing games where you can earn tokens, and just like the Dungeons and Dragons and all of the different role-playing games that they have, where you can earn resources. You go do this quest and then you're gonna earn a sword. Do this quest and you'll earn a bag of gold. You can actually go to a marketplace in those metaverse games and redeem those for crypto tokens. So just like the one we talk about all of the time, Axie Infinity, that's what people were doing. They were playing these games and they were playing these battles very similar to Pokemon battles with their game characters and winning prize money from playing these battles. And people were making a living playing these games, right? So that is a value proposition, not even to get into the popular games actually have real estate opportunities where you can purchase real estate in the game and then you can flip that. So the whole thing is the land rush right now, where people find a game and they find out that they have land available for sale in the game. People are actually buying land in the game before the game even gets developed. So by the time the game is developed, then people come in the game and, hey, I have a marketplace. I have a bar in this metaverse game. I have a auto shop in this metaverse game. Imagine it's a racing game, and then you have to get new tires, or you want to upgrade your tires in the game, and I happen to have an auto shop that I built in the metaverse, right? And you have to pay me with crypto tokens to upgrade your car, right? So it's very, again, one of the things that we say all the time is that it's limited by our imagination, what is being done and what people are able to do. And a lot of times, Dre and I talk on these calls and we say, wait till this happens. I can't wait until this happens. I bet you this is gonna happen at some point. Someone's gonna figure this out. And then a month later, someone figured it out. It's really, really amazing stuff. So again, when we tie this all back to the Metaknyts, the whole thing that we're saying is that they figured out a lot of this stuff already. A lot of what other projects are trying to do, other projects only have a piece of it, right? The Metaknyts has it all together. They have the PFPs, they have the metaverse game, they have the characters, they have new technology that nobody else has with their web app and with their MPODs. They also have a token that they're going to release, which is going to be a native token for their metaverse game that you're going to be able to use and exchange in the game, right? So again, being an early adopter to this project is going to give you access to all of these assets, right? If you're a shareholder, if you own the NFTs, you're going to have early access to the metaverse game, right? When they release the token, who do you think is going to get first access to those tokens, right? So all is always about early adoption, right? We always talk about in our Telegram group with our wealth community, we always talk about, hey, did you get into this project yet? It just launched. Did you get into this project? A lot of these don't cost a lot for you to participate, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of what's going on right now in blockchain technology, especially in crypto, is that you don't need to go get thousands of dollars, take out a loan to participate. Less than $100, right? We got into a project, we talked about, we're gonna do a call on this. We still haven't done a call on this, the D-Grain token. It was a penny a month ago. It's about to be 20 cents in less than a month, right? You don't have to put in a lot of money to benefit from these things if you get in early. And the Metaknyts is just getting started.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, guys, we have come to about the end. I'll open up for any last questions. Anybody has any questions about what's going on with Metaknyts or anything that Jiz talked about? And after that, we'll wrap it up. Did Samuel, you had a question? You got to unmute yourself if you do, brother. Oh, no. Okay. All right. So, hey, listen, man, Jiz, you did a fantastic job. You actually shut it down, gave us a great overview. This was a really special edition of what we have going on. Hold on. Go ahead, Samuel. You had a question?
Oh, so say that crash kind of hurt some people. How much time we have before this project, like it's too late?
Well, I mean, I would say that there's a lot of stuff in development. There's partnerships being announced pretty much on a weekly basis. Some of these are really big name projects. We just did a Twitter space yesterday where Dele announced that he is in final negotiations with one of the top writers from Marvel Movie Studios. So they want to work with the Metaknyts project to launch TV episodes and a film based off of the comic book. So that hasn't been announced, like a full announcement. The ink is not dried on that partnership yet, but once it does, like, we expect tons of attention, right? Because one of the first questions is, if they're gonna make a movie, a real life movie based on a comic book, who's gonna play the main character? Who's gonna play the bad guy? Who's gonna play the girlfriend, right? So all of the attention is gonna start coming, and then all the attention for the NFTs. People are gonna say, what's this comic book? What, they have NFTs, how much are the NFTs? So anyone who owns NFTs, right, they're gonna sell out. By the time the movie drops, right, now everybody's gonna want the NFTs. They're gonna want the comic. So I'm telling people, hey, if you're already into comic books, if you're already into Afrocentric art, right, if you're into video games, you're already gonna gain value there. But once this thing blows up, once the game drops, once the movies come out, it's game over.
Months?
Well, the movie is gonna be years, right?
Okay.
But the game, they're gonna drop the game, the alpha version of the game is coming out at the end of this year.
All right, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah. Thanks for the question.
All right, folks. Well, listen, we are getting ready to wrap this thing up. Listen, Jiz, thank you for your time. Again, special edition Metaknyts ownership in an NFT company, not just the NFT itself, not just all the utility but that you get from it. But listen, there's so many things in the works. And one of the things that we've proven as part of a community, one of the things that you're looking for within an NFT project is, where are they going, right? What's the roadmap? What's the utility? But then also that early adoption does give you benefits. You get to be the first person to potentially get the game. You get to be the first person to, or maybe even within the game, you might get a special NFT within the game that you could use. There's so many different options that they have to create community around those people who believe in the project early. And so just, I thank you for taking the time to just go over this again today. We'll see you. I know next week we'll have another great show, but this one was really hot and we really appreciate it, just because of the fact, again, ownership, not just ownership of the NFT, ownership in the company and all the things that they have coming down. So I would get started on that pretty quickly if I were you. One thing they did mention, but I did see, is that there's a 10% bonus up until sometime tomorrow. So if you're within the first 72 hours on your shares, you get an extra 10% bonus on your shares. So definitely check that out. Shareholder, not just an NFT collector. All right, guys. Borrow against that crypto, Samuel. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Ain't it great, folks?